Jackets will carry a state championship back to the mountains.
The Yellow Jackets aren't the only ones who dig deep to find success. So do the fine folks at Graves Directional Drilling. You can rely on Graves Directional Drilling to guide you through every step of the project at hand. Graves offers site evaluation, project development, design development, blueprints, site logistics, safety programs, quality control, materials, directional drilling, trenching, and site cleanup. Call Stephen Graves at 706-897-0374. Graves Directional Drilling, proud supporter of the Hayesville Yellow Jackets and 389 Country.
At Interstate Welding and Steel Supply, we strive for excellence in all of our products and services. From medical, food, and industrial gases, including propane, to steel, aluminum, and other metal materials, we have everything you need for your business or personal needs. Visit one of our 2 showrooms for welding equipment, truck and trailer supplies, power tools, and so much more. Our professional sales team will help you find exactly what you need. Call our Marble location at 888-613-8284 or our Blue Ridge store at 706-900-1000. Plus, you can always visit us online at interstatewelding.com.
Looking for a way to become more active? Check out the Clay County Recreation Center. From walking and biking trails, to a workout room, to a state-of-the-art pickleball court, the rec center has something for all levels of physical activity. They even have an airfield for RC pilots. And don't forget about all the sports leagues for the kids. Visit the center at 333 Ballpark Drive in Hayesville or call 828-389-0368.
Hey y'all, it's Elise from Rusty Walsh Chevrolet. It's football time and you know that's the best time to buy a car.
Whether it's a new truck, car, SUV, or certified pre-owned, we've got what you're looking for.
And all new vehicles come with our exclusive 7-year, 200,000-mile warranty.
Also, choose from Fords, Hondas, Toyotas, Nissans, Chevrolets, and more. Find new roads to RustyWallaceChevrolet.com.
Where Chevys cost less.
You are listening to 389 Country Internet Radio. The views and opinions expressed on the Morning Buzz are not necessarily those of 389 Country advertisers, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, or Google Podcasts.
But they should be.
This is the Morning Buzz.
Good morning, Buzzers. Your buddy Trav on the radio. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Morning Buzz on a Thursday. Now, you may be saying to yourself, Self, something happened right there. Yeah, Self, you would be correct because, gremlins literally from my studio walked out yesterday. He didn't touch anything. Come back in this morning, and the microphone was dead. I don't know why, but I can promise you the old engineering guru is going to kick in today, and that I'm done with that. I cannot deal with that anymore. So there you go. Anyway, let's move on. Let's have a great day. I hope your Wednesday was good, but I hope your Thursday is even better. And I'm going to do my best to try to make sure that indeed is the case. Now, on today's show, it is Thursday, so we will be counting down the CDX Top 10 Country Songs of the Week. Also, Uncle Joe is supposed to be calling in, and boy, do we have questions for him, huh? Yep. And I got a little story about tiny homes that'll really make you appreciate the simple things in life. Sarcasm. And, of course, the crazy news story of the day, more political chaos from around the world and chaotic news from around the world. It's going to be a fun-filled morning. But first, we can't do anything until we officially start your day. Doug, is your microphone working? Go ahead. Today is Thursday. It is November the 30th. It is the Day of Remembrance for all victims of chemical warfare. It's also National Personal Space Day. Hey, some of y'all, you need to acknowledge that every day. Look, I love you, but there's a couple of people that I know that, you see them coming in hot, and it's like, back up, Terry. It's National Mississippi Day. I will not be celebrating. It's also National Mason Jar Day. I didn't know that why it has its own day, but it is National Moose Day, not the Bullwinkle kind, but the dessert kind. And Stay Home Because You're Well Day. Call in fine today. Hello? Hey, Janet. Yeah? If you would, go ahead and tell Robbie that I'm not going to be coming in today. Oh, no. Are you not feeling well? No, I am feeling well. I'm feeling great, and so I'm not going to be there today because I'm feeling so good. Okay, I guess I'll tell him. We'll see you tomorrow. All right then, Janet. Have a good one. I'm having way too much fun after being mad. That's good, though, right? That's good. On this day in history, we've got some dandies. American singer and songwriter Michael Jackson released Thriller, which became the best-selling album in the world and won a record-setting 8 Grammy Awards. That was in 1982. In 2007, American motorcycle daredevil Evel Knievel, who was known for his death-defying stunts, which included a spectacular jump over the fountains at Caesars Palace Hotel in Las Vegas, well, he died at the age of 69. I know Evel more for his wrecks. That's what I remember. And on this day in 2018, American politician and former President George H.W. Bush passed away at the age of 94. And that is a look at today and yesterday. Now let's look ahead at future times with the North Georgia Sign and Apparel weather report. Cold again. 27 right now in Hayesville. It's 28 in Young Harris, 28 in Hiawassee. Pretty much upper 20s all across the tri-state here. Copper Hill looking like 26. Ooh. Today we're going to be warming up nicely. Mostly sunny with a high of 60 degrees. Looking like 37 for the low today. Dry, but then rain moves in tomorrow for your Friday. High of 56 with 94% chance of rain to open up December. More of the same on Saturday as we peek into the weekend. Thick cloud cover with occasional rain on Saturday. High of 65, chance of rain 85%. So there you go. There's a look at weather. And with that, we have officially started your day. Today, the show is brought to you by Graves Directional Drilling. The good news is with the technical issues, I know a solution. The bad news is it's finding time to implement it. Looks like a late day for your buddy Trav. That's fine, though. It could be a whole lot worse, right? It could be having to dig frozen ground or something. Hey, why don't we get on the old CDX Country Top 10 choo-choo train? Huh? We got a new one breaking into the top 10 this week, up 2 spots from last week. It's Riley Green's latest collaboration featuring Luke Combs called Different Round Here. Number 10 this week, it's Riley Green with Luke Combs, Different Round Here. Well, now it's time for the 411 for the 389. House lawmakers are poised to hold a third and potentially historic vote this week to expel Representative George Santos from Congress after a House Ethics Committee report this month accused the 35-year-old of campaign fraud, misuse of campaign funds, and other federal crimes. House Speaker Mike Johnson announced yesterday that a vote on the privileged resolution for Santos's expulsion will take place tomorrow. Does that mean today tomorrow or tomorrow? Stay tuned. Yeah, they should throw the bum out. I've said this before. He'll come back. He'll switch parties. He'll come back and be right back in there. All he's got to do is show up in a dress, and apparently he has no problem with that. Other news now, astronomers have observed a rare instance of a solar system inside the Milky Way whose planets orbit in sync around their host star. According to a study published yesterday, researchers believe the motion of the planets has remained virtually unchanged since the system's formation roughly 4 billion years ago. How? How do they know any of that? Well, I believe that the planet's rotations has remained unchanged since 4 billion years ago. Now, why do you believe that, Dr. Whoopenstoop? Well, it's just what I believe. And see that paper on the wall? That means I can just say whatever I believe, and you should accept it. Okay, thank you, Dr. Whoopenstoop. And in more news, an Indian government employee conspired to assassinate a U.S. citizen in June, U.S. prosecutors charged yesterday. The foiled plot allegedly targeted a New York City-based Sikh separatist leader, a faction of the Indian religious minority group who seeks an independent state in northern India. If you can't beat them, don't join them. Just kill them. And that is a look at the 411 for the 389. You can find more on those stories and more stories for free at 389country.com. Billy Carrington, good directions. Well, I hope you're having a great Thursday morning as you're out and about. And maybe you're not out and about. Maybe you're just getting ready. Getting ready for what? Well, maybe you're getting ready to head out to the office, to the job site, to the store. Heck, maybe you're headed to school somewhere today. But no matter the case, At some point today, dear friends, you're going to find yourself in the presence of those who make it abundantly clear that they need to be educated on the things of this world. And when that moment happens, dear friends, I want you to look them dead in the eye and say, losers, I bet I'm smarter than you and I can prove it. Then drop this on them. Did you know, on average, men get bored of a shopping trip after just 26 minutes? It's true. It's true. Meanwhile, women don't get tired of shopping until around 2 hours have passed. On top of this, it's been found that 8 in 10 men hate shopping with their partner. I is one of those 8. It's got nothing against her. I'm done. Men who are promised a treat at the end of a joint shopping trip are likelier to pretend to enjoy shopping with their partner for longer. Look, y'all treat us like dogs or like little kids. Listen, if you're good, I'll give you a treat. Okay. My wife, we had this conversation over the weekend. I think we have it every weekend. But she goes shopping. She goes for like hours, right? Like the day is gone. I go and I know what I want. I go in, grab what I want, usually go to self-check so I don't have to wait, and then I'm back out. I have before gone to a local big box store, parked my truck in the middle of a commercial on a radio station. Well, not in the middle, but going to commercial break. Come back out as that commercial break has ended, and that's with whatever I went for. So I think this 26 minutes, that seems a little extreme to me. I think that's a little long. 6 minutes, I'm done. And then after you have left them wowed, nay, slack-jawed with your superior knowledge, I want you to hit them with the old 1-2 punch. Look at them again and say, not only am I smarter than you losers, I am funnier too. Then drop this nugget on them. We're back to a husband and wife. A woman walks into her bathroom to see her husband sucking in his stomach. You know that won't help you lose weight, she says. I know that, says the husband, but it will help me see the scale. You see, he's fat. Welcome back, Buzzers. Time to take a look at sports on a Thursday morning. And we begin with women's college basketball. The Young Harris Mountain Lions fell to the Pioneers of Tusculum College 70-69 during Wednesday night's thrilling game that came down to the wire. Young Harris fell to 3-4, and Tusculum University advances to 2-3 on the season. The Mountain Lions return to action on Saturday against Mars Hill University in Mars Hill. Looks like Madison Zunga led the Pioneers in points and rebounds with 20 and 9 respectively. The Mountain Lions starting 5 each had 10 or more points in the game, but just come up 2 points technically. 2 points shy. And in high school news, high school football, well, I guess it could be considered college football. Hayesville standout Taylor McClure announced yesterday via X that he has decommitted from Gardner-Webb. So we'll see how that plays out. I know he is dealing with an injury right now. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. He had nothing but nice words to say about Gardner-Webb and how his interaction with them has gone. But Taylor McClure now back out on the market, I guess you could say. And that is a look at sports, brought to you as always by the fine folks at the Clay County Recreation Center. Going down there, you can work out, you can walk. Well, let's just let this guy tell you everything you can do there. Let's jump back on the old CDX train, and at number 9 this week, down 6 spots from last week, it's Tim McGraw with Standing Room Only. Tim McGraw, number 9? Yeah, he's number 9 this week, and that brings us to our bozo news of the day. Well, you know, it's an annual tradition. Santa Claus makes his first appearance in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and apparently our bozo footprints in the snow story follows shortly thereafter. This year's cold case comes from Monroe, Michigan, where the cops were dispatched to a report of a porch pirate stealing packages delivered at the front door of some residences. Now, our bozo didn't know it, but he already had 2 strikes against him. One, a nice picture caught him in the act on a Ring doorbell. And 2, those footprints he left behind in the snow as he ran from house to house, not to mention the package wrapping that he dropped everywhere along the trail. He basically was just saying, here I am, come get me. Now, as you can imagine, it wasn't long before the cops spotted him, and when his boot prints matched, he was busted. What an idiot. I mean, again, I say it all the time. Obviously, if you've chosen a life of crime, you're not the smartest person, right? But at some point, he had to realize, I'm leaving a trail. Like, all they got to do is follow me. You know, it's like the rabbit in the snow. It's not real hard to rabbit hunt in snow. This idiot. Well, I guess he could have told him that he was pretending to be the Grinch, right? Maybe. I don't know, but he was busted. Good. Mighty Merle there, the hag, Merle Haggard with I Think I'll Just Stay Here and Drink. Let's check out Today in Country Music, shall we? On this day in 1968, Glenn Campbell started a 5-week run at number 1 on the U.S. album chart with Wichita Lineman. In 2004, Rolling Stones magazine listed that song on the 500 greatest songs of all time at number 192. How about that? On this day in 1980, Kenny Rogers was number 1 on the country album charts with Greatest Hits. In 1990, Heroes and Friends by Randy Travis was at number 1 on the country chart. That's a good song. I got to get that one. Add that one to the old playlist. And in 2012, Glenn Campbell, once again, played the final day in Napa, California on his goodbye tour with 3 of his children joining him in his backup band. And in 2015, Carrie Underwood released Heartbeat, taken from her 5th studio album, Storyteller. The album's 2nd single went on to reach number 1 on the Billboard Country Airplay charts, becoming Underwood's 14th number 1 on the chart. And we're going to go with a birthday today. Born on this day in 1975 in Fort Myers, Florida, was Mindy McCready, country music singer who scored the 1996 U.S. country number 1 hit with Guys Do It All the Time, as well as the top 10 hits 10,000 Angels and A Girl's Gotta Do What a Girl's Gotta Do. Sadly, McCready was found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound on her front porch on the 17th of February, 2013. So, sad ending there, but I remember when those songs were huge. And this morning, we recognize Mindy with 10,000 Angels. Mindy McCready, 10,000 Angels. Sad ending to such a troubled life. If you having issues, reach out to somebody, talk to them. We can work through it. We can get you through it. I promise you. Sad ending. With that, though, it's time to get back on the old CDX choo-choo train. Number 8 this week, up 3 spots. He's been on and off, and now he's back on. It's Luke Bryan. He's got a beer in his hand. He just wants you to know. Here's one from Joe Diffie. You probably don't remember In My Own Backyard. That's going to do it for hour number 1, but don't you fret, dear friends. We still have 2 full hours to go. Coming up in hour number 2, we're going to take a look at political chaos from around the world, including, well, it's another round of the blame game. Uncle Joe let something slip, and maybe he'll call in. We can ask him about it. And what else is on the old agenda here? Let me just look. Oh, yeah. This electric cars thing, hypocrisy. I'll tell you all about it. Thanks for listening. Welcome back, Buzzers. Your buddy Trav on the radio. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Morning Buzz on a Thursday. Cool outside. Still in the upper 20s all across the tri-state. Looking like we're going to warm up to around 60 today. Blue skies smiling at me. Nothing but blue skies do I see. Coming up in this hour, we're going to take a look at political chaos from around the world, including, boy, old Joe, he is just all over this hour, I'll go ahead and tell you. And, well, it ain't my fault. You know how politics works, but somebody is, they're playing the blame game. And remember when we were told that building a wall across the southern border would cost way too much money? Turns out not building a wall across the southern border is costing us more money. I'll tell you all about that coming up in just a couple of minutes. But as we do every day in hour 2, we begin the hour number 2 by connecting with Jesus, because you know we need Jesus before we talk politics. And today's 389 Country Spotlight lands Randy Travis. Welcome back, Buzzers. Your buddy Trav back behind the microphone. Now, first of all, we've got to dial up our first political chaos story of the day. And just like that, we have dialed up our first political chaos story of the day. And, we were told when Trump was saying build that wall, and he was going to build a wall and have Mexico pay for it, and which I don't think he actually meant them actually paying for it, but I think he meant by sanctions. Anyway, we were told it's way too expensive, right? Way too expensive. Well, apparently it was way cheaper to build a wall than to not build a wall. Here you go. You want to get your blood boiling early in the morning? Fox Business reports that subsidizing illegal immigration is costing American taxpayers $451 billion per year. Y'all, we are spending $451 billion every year on the illegal alien crisis in the United States. Not 451 million, 451 billion with a B from the story. In a 49-page report released Monday, the House Committee on Homeland Security found that nearly $500 billion is being lost in the healthcare, law enforcement, education, housing, and other sectors due to an influx of illegal immigration in the past 2 years. $451 billion figure takes into account the millions of illegal migrants released by Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas's Department of Homeland Security, as well as 1.7 million so-called gotaways, the Center for Immigration Studies revealed in May. So over 100 times the amount the GOP refused to give Trump for the border wall. Yeah, we can't do that. That's just too expensive. Tell them, Mitch. Well, the American people don't want to have to pay this ridiculous amount of money for a wall to protect the American people. It's just too much money. Hey, Mitch, now we're spending over 100 times that every year. What do you have to say? Well, the American people realize that it's well worth it to help the humanitarian crisis that's going on in South America, and you all right there, Mitch? Yeah, somebody come get Mitch. Y'all, even the most extreme estimates for Trump's wall topped out at $15 billion. One time expense. Now we're spending $451 billion a year. That's what it's costing us. But he never even asked for that much. And in 2020, NPR said that $11 billion was too much to spend on the border. And NPR, you know how and in other news, $11 billion is too much to spend on a border wall. Stay tuned when we return. Classic sounds of elevator jazz. Yeah, we don't mind shelling out hundreds of billions for services meant for U.S. citizens, but, heaven forbid we try to stop the bleeding. Can anybody make it make sense? I don't think you can. I don't care how left you are. There's no way you make this make sense unless you are like Mitch McConnell. Bro, the American people. Back to the old countdown now. Number 7 this week, right where he was last week. It's Morgan Wallen. Morgan Wallen there at number 7 this week. Well, do you remember when I told you about a satanic group that opened up an abortion clinic in New Mexico and named it after conservative Justice Samuel Alito's mom? Y'all remember that? It's been a while. Well, it's not a joke, and it's not funny. It's a literal satanic human sacrifice ritual that they are promoting. And they aren't alone. Cosmopolitan magazine actually promoted the Satanic Abortion Clinic, which sends out abortion pills throughout the country, and told the story of a woman who took the pills to kill her child and shared the satanic ritual she used. This is from Cosmo's Instagram page. Now, I'll just go ahead and tell you, it's a little rough. So, just know that. What it's like to have a satanic abortion for Jessica, a 37-year-old mother of 3 who received abortion medication via Samuel Alito's mom's satanic clinic. The experience was just very supportive. While she's not a Satanist, Jessica decided to incorporate a few ceremonial elements into her solo abortion experience. Why not, she thought. The overall messaging just clicked with her. Read more about it at the link in bio. So, she's not a Satanist, but she thought, well, why not perform this satanic ritual? I mean, what's it going to hurt? Well, first of all, you're killing a baby. Second of all, who in their right mind? Well, there you go. Trav, you answered your own question. Well, I'm not a Satanist, but why not do some of these satanic rituals? I mean, the overall messaging clicked with me. I got to tell you, if the overall messaging of Satanism clicks with you, you are a Satanist. There's a full story on the Cosmos website of how this mother of 3 killed her 4th child. But, the Instagram page, they shared the details of the satanic ritual she used because why not? That's why she went with it. Why not? Evil just running wild. Here's, if you want to hear it, this is just a little bit from the ritual. These are their instructions. Find a mirror and focus on you. There's nothing in the world that matters more than you. You look at the opposite of Satanism, Christianity, and it's all about others, right? You are low on the totem pole. What is this pushing? Pride, self-pride. Your personhood, not your baby's personhood. All right, so even the Satanists admit it's a baby you're killing. Your intent, which if you thought for half a second about it, then it is intent to murder in the first degree, that's your intent, then your responsibility, not your unborn child, but you. Then take a few deep, relaxing breaths. When you're ready, read the following tenet out loud. One's body is invaluable, subject to one's own will alone. Take the medication and immediately afterward recite. Belief should conform to one's best scientific understanding of the world. One should take care never to distort scientific facts to fit one's beliefs. Yet, scientific belief does not matter, or scientific facts does not matter when you're talking about transgender beliefs. This is the world we live in, folks. When people are performing satanic abortions because, quote, why not? I don't know what more you need to see to know that evil is running wild. And I'll just go ahead and tell you, Donald Trump's not going to fix it. Joe Biden's not going to fix it. Gavin Newsom won't fix it. Ron DeSantis won't fix it. It's not going to happen. When you've got people like this, you can't tell me that political change is going to help anything. There has to be a change of heart, because this right here is just pure sickening evil. Carrie Underwood, Denim and Rhinestone. Come on. There we go. It's fitting that it stuttered. Well, Fearless Leader was out and about yesterday as he was at CS Wind in Pueblo, Colorado. There was some back in the day where you could order stuff, on TV. You remember the infomercials with the blue screen and the yellow phone number? Or you can send your check to Pueblo, Colorado. Anyway, he was there yesterday to look at the wind plant there, and in a desperate attempt to show that green energy is the future and the economy's doing just fine. And while he was touring the plant, there's a couple of workers there, and here's what Joe said to him. Hey, Nick. Hello, Marley. Now, look, my Marine has a code to blow up the world. It's not nuclear weapons, is it? First of all, the poor old man apparently doesn't even know he's in a wind factory, wind turbine. He's making sure that it's not nuclear. Yeah, we send the president into a nuclear plant. Second of all, he's trying to crack a joke about blowing up the world, y'all, with a nuclear bomb. Again, I repeat. Hey, Nick. Hello, Marley. Now, look, my Marine has a code to blow up the world. It's not nuclear weapons, is it? You remember when people were talking about how reckless Trump would be with the nuclear codes? Joe out here cracking jokes about blowing us all up. I feel better, don't you? Well, it's that time of the week where we check in with El Presidente Joseph Robinette Biden. Let me see if I can get him. Mr. President, are you there? Yeah, I'm here. I've been excited to talk to you. Oh, yeah? Yeah. I went on a field trip yesterday. Yeah, I know. We were just talking about that right before the break there, before I connected with you. Yeah, pretty exciting? Yeah, they took me to a nuclear plant. No, Mr. President, I don't think it was a nuclear plant. Yeah, there was big things there. It was definitely nuclear. I worked in the nuclear industry for 40 years, I think I know. Well, Mr. President, your team said that you were at a wind factory. Don't be stupid. What kind of factory makes wind? Well, there's some jokes there, but I'll let it pass. So, you enjoy your time in Pueblo, Colorado? Yeah, it's been a while since I've been to Mexico, so it was nice to get there. What? Pueblo. It's in Mexico. No, it's in Colorado. Pueblo, Colorado, Mexico. Come on, man. I'm not joking. All right, whatever. Mr. President, we've been talking the last few days. Polls are not looking so good for you. Well, it depends on the kind. I like utility polls are my favorite. No, I'm talking about, how can I put this? Voter polls, like, asking people who they're going to vote for. Right now, it looks like you're losing to Trump. That shows how dumb people are. Look, Trump's not even going to be on the ballot, and neither am I. What? I've said too much. I'll get in trouble. Yeah, probably. You don't think Trump's going to make it till next year? No, we're going to make sure that doesn't happen. I mean, look, he's in court, and the justice system never fails, right? How about Hunter? Like I said, my justice system never fails me. You think I'm kidding, but I'm not. That's not hyperbole, man. Yeah. What's on the agenda today? Well, I've got to figure out a way to avoid answering questions from the media. I got a question about that. Okay, shoot there, Sparky. Why will you sit down with me and not sit down with, like, mainstream media and discuss things? Well, because you've got probably, like, 40 people listening. What does it matter? Well, I want to thank you for that. That was real comforting. Look, we choose our feelings over facts. What? Nothing. All right, Mr. President, I know that you always like to help us out on the show, and it's always countdown day when you are able to tune in. We are up to number 6, and today's number 6 song comes to us from Dan and Shay. Can you kick to that for us? Sure. I was a country music DJ in Pueblo, Colorado for 40 years. Where are you now? Yeah, they tore the station down and built a nuclear plant. Oh, okay. Well, how about it? Go ahead and toss to the next song. Okay. Did it make it? No, Mr. President, it didn't. But thank you for spending a little time with us. Sure thing, Trevor. Don't forget, folks, the trash man's on at the same time. I'm just saying, no joke. Thank you, Mr. President. No. Why did I even bother? Number 6 this week, it's Dan and Shay with Save Me the Trouble. True Youngblood there with You Don't Care. Somebody else who doesn't care, politicians. Now, I don't know if politicians know this or not, but most of us don't have an unlimited fund and, taxpayer money to support us paycheck to paycheck like they do. So when they see headlines like this one from CBS, what has to go through their brains? From CBS News, extreme right-wing rag. Americans need an extra $11,400 today just to afford the basics. Best economy ever, Jack. I'm not kidding. It's working. Yeah, you're killing us all. From the story, the typical American household must spend an additional $11,434 annually just to maintain the same standard of living they enjoyed in January of, any guesses? Anybody want to guess? How far do we have to go back? I mean, what? Probably 1988. It's increased 11. Oh, no. 98? No. 2011? No. You got to go back just 3 years. January of 2021, right before inflation soared to 40-year highs, according to a recent analysis of government data. What happened in January of 2021? So, since Uncle Joey there took over, it's costing you $11,434 extra every year. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't have that kind of cash just laying around underneath the couch cushions. So, if you haven't received a raise of $11,434 since January of 2021, that's after the pandemic, by the way, then you're poorer now. And who among us hasn't received an $11,000 raise? Meanwhile, though, the White House wants you to think that you're better off than ever, and this is all fake news to make us think we're poor. I don't know about you, but when I go to the cash register, I don't need somebody there telling me, hey, this is costing more. Hey, your dollar doesn't go as far as it used to. I don't need someone telling me that. You know why? I know it's not. I look at it. To quote Biden here, that's not hyperbole. It's a fact. So he was telling us how he saved us from inflation before Thanksgiving. He said from turkey to air travel to a tank of gas, costs went down. On Thanksgiving 2 years ago, 100 container ships were waiting to dock. This year, there are less than 10, meaning as folks start their holiday shopping, shelves are stocked. Look, man, everything costs more, and we aren't making that much more money. From the story, average hourly pay for workers has increased robust 13.6% since January 2021, although that lags the 17% increase in inflation during the same time period, according to government data. The main categories requiring heavier spending for consumers simply to tread water, food, transportation, housing, and energy, which together account for almost 80 cents of every dollar in additional spending, according to the analysis from Republican members of the United States Senate Joint Economic Committee. So lower income folks need to make $14,000 more a year, more than an extra $1,000 a month, just to get by. For that many, that means having to take a second job. And then you've got some people who have so many jobs, they're really not sure how many they have. Back to the music. Craig Morgan with Lainey Wilson, International Harvester. I'll be honest with you, I had to stand up for that one. Golly, that's a good tune. And look, it was a good tune back in the day, but it's got more drive now, and we've noted you put Lainey on anything, it makes it better. Well, we should pour one out for the poor electric vehicle dealers who simply cannot find buyers to take these expensive boondoggles off their hands, right? Celebrity motor car CEO Tom Mawley, I'm not sure what his name is. Don't know, don't care, but I do care what he said when he was on CNBC. Old Tommy said, this is thousands of dealerships that represent multiple brands, not just one brand, domestic, international brands, and all across the board. We're now backed up to 12 months with EVs. Consumers don't want them. They're not buying them. Yep, drivers aren't even interested in electric vehicles with $15,000 in rebates from the manufacturer and $7,500 tax credit. So $22,000 you take off the price, and people still don't want them. Because even you knock $22,000 off it, they're still too expensive, right? And especially when, they can't perform to the same level as a gas burner. I've said this since this show started. If it can do the same thing and it can do it cheaper, okay, let's talk. But it can't. So now they have a year's worth of electric vehicles just stocked up and nobody's buying them. But have no fret, the government's got a solution. In Michigan, Governor Gretchen Whitmer, she signed a law requiring 100% of energy to come from clean sources by 2040. Y'all, that's 16 years, right? Because we're almost in December. So in 16 years in Michigan, it's a law that all energy has to be come from 100% come from clean sources. Yeah, I'm sure that'll work. I'm sure that'll happen. Back to the countdown now. Number 5 this week. Let's see where he charted last week. Oh, he's up 4 spots. He's the reason people are falling down. It's Nate Smith with World on Fire. Cody Johnson, the way we end hour number 2. Don't you fret, dear friends. We still have a full hour to go. Coming up in hour number 3, chaotic news from around the world, including the crazy news story of the day. I'll be back in 3 minutes. Welcome back, Buzzers. Your buddy Trav behind the microphone on the radio on a Thursday. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Morning Buzz. I got to cut the heat down. It's a little hot in here. And for that, I am thankful. I've told y'all the other day, there's been mornings last winter when I was in here, and y'all, it wasn't much warmer in here than it was outside. But we are blessed, right? Oh, coming up this hour, you can expect BK Concrete Connection Racing Report. Also, the crazy news story of the day and chaotic news from around the world, including selfies, weddings, and tiny homes. Yep, who knows? Who knows what Trav's going to drag out of the old box? Well, I know this much. It is 9 o'clock. Actually, it's 9:04 on the money, and that means it's time for the 90s at 9. Today, it's the great one, Garth, with my favorite Garth Brooks song, That Summer. Harper debuts this Saturday, and we're excited for that. Make sure to tune in as you are decorating or whatever you're doing this Saturday. She will, her, and along with John and Heidi, you heard her say John and Heidi is going to take middays just like they always have on Saturdays. But Harper will be here before and after. Now, it's time for a little chaotic news. Now, I am a fan of, tiny homes. Last night, as a matter of fact, I was on YouTube watching people build their tiny homes, or watching them after they giving tours of their tiny homes. And it's really interesting how people can take just a small area and produce an actual, some of them were really nice, like, and functional, and it wouldn't be that bad to live in. Now some of them, they're junk. I mean, I'm gonna be real with y'all, they junk. But what if I told you that 661 square feet would cost you $1,000 a month? Not one time, $1,000 a month, y'all. Well, that is the case. And it's just too much for me. Too much. Now imagine living in that house. It's basically a pod. All right, here's the deal. In San Antonio, they have this little pod community, and these tiny homes that are 661 square feet, which a lot of the tiny homes I looked at are way, way smaller than that, like, half that or smaller. These are going for $137,000. And one of their taglines, you might not want to, but you're going to live here. It's working. So you might as well just live in a tiny apartment, right? Your mortgage payment would be around $1,000 a month. Again, for 661 square feet. And I'm sorry, I just can't get over that number. And imagine living in that community. It's what, the WEF would like. They're just stacked in here, just like cordwood. Just one pod. You have, if I'm looking here, I would say maybe 8 feet between your front driveway and your neighbor's front driveway. Maybe that. And it's mostly taken up by your utility, like the electrical box and all that. They're just lined. And how do you know which one's yours? They all look identical. Some of them may be painted different. I'm a little colorblind, but I'm assuming nobody in that neighborhood's going to host a party. But think about the parking on the street. If just a few neighbors had people over, it would be a nightmare. You will have nothing, and you will like it. Look, my wife knows my plan once the kids get grown and gone, sell our house and build maybe not a tiny, tiny home, but pretty small. I'm not going to do it for $137,000. I'll tell you that much right now. It just ain't going to happen. Welcome back, Buzzers. Coming up in just a minute, I'm going to tell you what shut down the AARP website. You will never guess it. Right now, though, back to the countdown. Number 4 this week. Let's see where he was last week. He's up 2 spots with his second song on the countdown. It's Morgan Wallen with Everything I Love. If you saw a headline that the Rolling Stones' next concert series was being sponsored by AARP, now you would have to assume it was a joke, right? But nope, Mick Jagger and the crew fully embraced the old washed-up rocker joke and really are being sponsored by the AARP. And apparently the AARP's website couldn't handle the traffic. All the old folks logged on to AARP, easy for me to say, at once, or maybe got their grandkids to log on for them. But anyway, it crashed the site during what was supposed to be a special pre-sale for AARP. It's the old folks version of the Taylor Swift mess, right? A message on the site: we are currently experiencing technical difficulties and are unable to complete your request. Our team is actively working to fix the issue. We hope to resolve it soon. Thank you for your patience. So, if Meemaw was out to buy her Rolling Stone tickets and using that website, she couldn't get no satisfaction. Huh? No satisfaction? There you go! The drummer woke up. Well, if you're asleep, this will wake you up. Number 3 this week. I'm telling you, this one's going to hit number 1. I think it should have already been number 1, but I don't control the charts. It's Chris Stapleton with White Horse. It's time now for the crazy news story of the day. Today we head to South Carolina. Police in South Carolina have arrested a truck driver after he allegedly absconded with cargo he was supposed to deliver. Now, you may think, what would it be for him to steal it? Probably, smart TVs, technology stuff, maybe a load of new cars. No, he took off with 20 tons of chicken. So what was the man's plan? Well, it wasn't to eat all the chicken. What's one man supposed to do with 20 tons of chicken? Actually, the plan was a little more ingenious than it appears on the surface. 55-year-old Christopher, this from the story, 55-year-old Christopher Thomas was supposed to deliver 41,000 pounds of chicken for Pilgrim's Pride plant in Sumter, South Carolina, to 2 locations in Milton, Georgia. But thinking he could get away with it, Thomas made multiple stops along the way and sold the chickens right off the truck at a personal profit. Thomas was to deliver approximately 41,000 pounds of chicken valued at approximately $80,000. He was arrested with apparently 7 pallets loaded with 215 cases of chicken weighing 8,000 pounds remaining. It is believed that Thomas sold about 33,000 pounds of chicken, the sheriff's office said. This dude was making bank. But Pilgrim's Pride knew something was up, and that's why the police were tipped off to his scheme. A tip led them to pull Thomas over in a traffic stop, allegedly on a trip to make another sale. Thomas is sitting in a cell with $50,000 surety bond for his poultry crime. If the chickens were still living, maybe he could have claimed to be an environmental vegan hero, you know? But no, they were dead. What was he going to say when he got there? Well, that's all they give me. That's what they loaded on the truck. So you'll have to take it up with them. Okay, sit here. Let me call. Hello? Hey, Margaret? Yeah? We got just 8,000 pounds of chicken here. We're supposed to have 41,000 pounds. And the truck driver said that y'all only loaded 8,000 on the truck. Can you look? Yeah, let me look here. How are you doing today? Well, I'm good. How are you? I'm good. The old bursitis is acting. Yep, it says right here 41,000 pounds. Thank you, Margaret. You're welcome, honey. Call anytime. Merry Christmas to you and yours. Thank you, Margaret. I appreciate it. All right there, Chief. What about that? Well, old Margaret, you know how she is. How did he think it was going to end? Idiot. To honor this story, here is a song from the band My Girl, The River. It's called Hot Chicken. All I know is it's called Hot Chicken. If you inferred something else, that's your problem, Buzzer. Somebody sent in an anonymous message on 389 Country. He's like, what is this song about? Hot chicken. Did you not pay attention? Now, I'll admit the tune maybe doesn't go with the title. This one does, though. Number 2 on the charts this week, right where he was last week. It's Dylan Scott. You can't have mine. Hot chicken. Warning, warning. Taking selfies is now considered a public health problem. Requires safety messaging, say research. Say researchers. Most common cause of selfie-related deaths, as you can imagine, falling from heights. Well, yeah, the taking of selfies is now considered legitimately dangerous, y'all. We're too dumb to take our own picture. A review by the University of New South Wales concluded that taking selfies could actually pose a public health problem. Referencing data from multiple peer-reviewed studies in both U.S. and Australia since 2011, the review was published in the Journal of Medical Internet Research in September of this year. And who among us doesn't check that out? Selfie-related deaths and come on, Trav, at aquatic locations stood out as the most concerning incidents, including photo taking at scenic and photogenic areas. The general use of smartphones and apps is dangerous, the research pointed out, but 4 of the 5 peer-reviewed studies identified falls from heights due to selfie taking as the most common cause of injury. Listen, selfies are not dangerous. Dummies are dangerous to themselves. Hey, that'd be a cool picture. Yeah, but hey, you might fall off there and die. I'm willing to risk it. Did you hear about Johnny? Know what happened? He fell off the cliff and died trying to get a selfie. Did you tell him? I told him, hey, you might fall off there and die. Well, it's Johnny's fault. And let's just be honest. Can I be brutally honest with myself and y'all? You post a selfie and you think, oh, this is a cool picture. Look at me in this scenic. Really, does that many people? Look at the views. Was it worth it? Was it worth risking your life for, 13 people in Meemaw to see you standing there? Taylor Swift picture to burn. Well, a woman on Reddit has drawn some 3,300 reactions and 1,600 comments after sharing a family wedding drama involving her sister's upcoming nuptials and her desire to bring her young child to the wedding against her sister's wishes. Describing herself as 29-year-old, the woman wrote that her younger sister, who's 26, is getting married in a few weeks and sent me an invitation. The sister wants a child-free wedding, the woman wrote, but since I have no one to watch my baby, I wouldn't be able to go. The woman wrote, adding later that her husband will be on a work trip during the event and that her baby is only a month old. So I asked her if she could make an exception. All right, she's getting married in a few weeks. The baby will be a couple of months old by then. I'm not saying leave it at home. Don't... Added the woman about her sister, I didn't push her, I simply asked, and she went off on me. The woman continued, she called me called her a name, I'll just say that, for rejecting her invite and making my whole life revolve around my son. I told her I had no one to watch my son, so I wouldn't be able to go, but it's also fine that she doesn't want to make an exception. Sounds like to me that this family has other issues, right? I mean, you would think, yeah, you can bring yours. You're my sister. You can bring my little nephew. Nope. I bet I bet the bride is just an absolute delight, don't y'all? If I'm the man that's engaged to her and I'm hearing about all this, I am second guessing it, which he's probably so beat down. Yes, dear. Here I go making assumptions. I can make an assumption. I don't know who these people are. If you disagree with me, let me know, 389country@gmail.com. You can't argue with me about this, though. Number one in the country for the fourth week in a row, it is Lainey Wilson doing backup. Aha, fooled you, for Jelly Roll with Save Me. Ian Munsick, by request, Long Live Cowgirls. If you request that, I'll get that to you all day long. Well, all morning long. Golly, I love that song. That's going to do it for the old Travanator for a Thursday. Our time together has come and gone, but don't you fret, dear friends. We'll be back tomorrow. Until then, keep a check on 389country.com for news you can use. Always new, always free. If you didn't catch the whole show and you would like to, don't forget the shortened version loads every day on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcast. And keep us on, as we are the perfect soundtrack to your day. Josh David coming up at 10 a.m. here in just a couple of minutes. And looks like Bailey Zimmerman's going to kick everything off for his show. I'll be back with you bright and early tomorrow morning, same bat time, same bat channel, as we kick off your weekend with the Scotsman song, George Jones, Friday Funny, and, of course, the normal chaos. Until then, remember, wrestling's real, politicians are fake. Have a great Thursday, everybody.